I once believed family was a tightly woven tapestry, threaded with love, trust, and shared history. But mine unraveled, strand by strand, until I was left holding nothing but the needle. This is the story of how I stitched my life back together after they tried to tear it apart. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe for more powerful real-life stories like this, and tell me your city or hometown in the comments. I'd love to know where you're watching from. I'm 40 years old, a sculptor by trade. My hands carve more than just stone, they shape fragments of my soul into something lasting. From nothing, I built everything, a thriving studio, a modest home filled with warmth, and a life with my wife, Clara, whose laughter could light up the darkest night. She's a landscape designer, an artist of gardens who turns empty spaces into living poetry. We live in a quiet cedar-scented house filled with memories. My second property, a rental, is my safety net, leased to a young couple, Leo and Mara, who treat it with care and always pay on time. But family can creep into your foundations like ivy, slowly choking the life out of what you've worked so hard to grow. My parents, Ellen and Victor, raised 2 sons, me, and my younger brother Julian, now 36. Julian's a dreamer with a silver tongue but no backbone for real work. Since college, fully funded by mom and dad, he's chased one flashy venture after another. All of them failures. Me. I got lectures. Art's a hobby, not a career, Dad scoffed when I started my studio. Julian's genius ideas got blank checks and applause. 4 months ago, I was chiseling marble, dust clinging to my skin, when Mom called. Her voice bubbled like she was sharing good news. We sold the house, she said, 35 years gone, for $500,000. I pictured them in a cozy condo, sipping coffee in the morning sun. I smiled and asked, "What's the plan?" Her answer landed like a hammer blow. We gave it all to Julian for a new start. I froze, my chisel slipping and grazing my hand. Every cent, gone. Julian and his fiancée Elise, a woman who lived for velvet dresses and champagne brunches, used it to buy a $1.4 million loft with sky-high views and marble counters, a life they couldn't afford. What about you two? Where will you live? I asked. We'll move into your rental, Mom replied, as casually as if she was booking a dinner table. My rental? I repeated, stunned. Leo and Mara have a lease. Just tell them to leave, she said. No, the word rang out like steel striking stone. Dad's voice sharpened. We gave you life. This is what family does. Family. The same family that bankrolled Julian's failures and called my work frivolous. The same family that left me to claw my way through art school while Julian coasted. Clara, overhearing, gripped my hand. You're not going to let them do this, are you? Never, I said, though I could already feel the storm coming. It came sooner than I thought. The next Monday, Leo called, his voice shaking. There's a couple at our door, they say they own the house. My stomach twisted. Who? Your parents. They've got bags. They're yelling that we're trespassing. I dropped my tools and raced across the city, streets blurring past. When I arrived, Mom was pounding on the door, Dad standing like a landlord demanding rent. This is my property, I said, stepping up to them. They have a lease. You have no right to be here. Dad's jaw tightened. We've been in a motel for 3 weeks, waiting for you to step up. 3 weeks, doing nothing. Not looking for a home. Just expecting me to hand over my livelihood. Mom's voice cracked, theatrically. We're your parents. You can't choose strangers over us. Neighbors peeked out from behind curtains, their whispers buzzing in the air. I stood firm. I built this without you. I won't let you take it. By morning, my phone was exploding, calls, messages, relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Family first, they preached. You're leaving your parents homeless. Not one of them asked for my side. Not one offered their own couch. By Thursday, I'd had enough. I sat in my studio, the hum of my tools grounding me, and wrote a single, sharp email to 40 family members. I told them everything: the sale, the $500,000, the loft, their demand for my rental. I attached proof, lease agreements, text messages. And at the end, I wrote, "Since you're all so concerned, I'm sure one of you can offer them a room. Let me know their move-in date." The silence that followed was deafening. But Julian wasn't finished. A month later, my cousin Zoe messaged, "Julian's loft deal collapsed. The bank wanted proof of income." Julian's consulting business was just a logo and a handshake. Their deposit? Gone. Mom and dad savings? Gone. Then came the wedding. Elise wanted a lavish event, crystal chandeliers, a string quartet, 300 guests. Julian begged everyone for cash. I ignored him. Everyone did. The venue cancelled 2 days before. They ended up in Elise's backyard, mascara streaking her cheeks, guests picking at food on paper plates. Last week, the final blow landed. A man named Paul called me. Julian had been using my name, pretending we were business partners, to scam people out of thousands. He'd shown them photos of my work as if it were his own. I set him up. We met in a cafe. His face drained when I slid the fake contract across the table. "Hey, partner," I said coldly. Minutes later, the police had him in cuffs for fraud and identity theft. Mom and dad called me a traitor, screaming that I'd destroyed the family. But family doesn't steal your name and call it loyalty. I filed a restraining order, changed my number, and breathed for the first time in years. Sometimes, the heaviest weight you can carry is the idea of family. And sometimes, the only way to stand tall, is to set it down. If you've ever had to break free, tell me in the comments, what did you lose, and what did you find? Subscribe for more true stories, and if you have your own, share it below.